Hi folks, I'm Alexander Trowbridge. Welcome to the Politico Chat. It's Friday, April 15th, tax day, and with Republican hopefuls speaking at rallies across the country this weekend, it's the perfect day for our first 2012 dispatch. On the trail, we have Politico reporters Juana in New Hampshire and Kendra Marr in Boston. And joining me in the Politico World headquarters is Andy Barr. Andy, let's start with you. For a Republican hopeful, how important is it to be kind of out there and active and speaking on a day like today?
It's like, I mean, it kind of is, but only if you're if you like want to court that certain group, like that Tea Party sect. There are a lot of guys you don't see out there today, like Barber's in South Carolina, but he's not making a big stink about it. And then, of course, anyone who's trying to like court these guys, whether it's Plenty where Kendra's at, or Santorum or whatever, they have to make a big issue of it today, even though tax day is actually 3 days away. They seem to be celebrating a little early.
Now, Tim Pawlenty is up in Boston today, and he's also in New Hampshire. Kendra, Massachusetts isn't, one of these early primary states. Why would Pawlenty speak at a rally there?
Well, Pawlenty isn't throwing tea into the Boston Harbor, but it's more symbolic that he's headlining a Tea Party rally in the hometown of the original Tea Party and the original taxation protest. The governor's been positioning himself as the candidate of all things to all voters. He's gone to great lengths to bolster his Tea Party credentials. He just headlined the gathering of the Tea Party Patriots, the largest group in this Tea Party movement, in Phoenix, Arizona. His team put out this action-packed Michael Bay-esque video that heaped praise on the Tea Party, thanking them for all their success in the midterm elections. So today in Boston, it'll be a good test to see, if the Tea Party is responding to, all that praise and, his outreach. This is a rally that Sarah Palin headlined last year, which brought in 10,000 people. So we'll see what kind of crowd he'll draw out today.
Yeah, Kendra, it's Andy. Last year, Palin kind of filled out the entire Boston Common and just kind of rocked it. There was this wall-to-wall coverage. What are we expecting today? Is the event at the same place? How many people are we expecting to turn out? And is there any buzz for Pawlenty there? Well,
the organizers have been telling me that hopefully if the weather stays nice and it is sunny, though a little cold, they're aiming for about 5,000, which is half as much as Palin got out to the Boston Common. So, their expectations aren't, rock star super concert rollout that Sarah Palin did, but, it's about half as much.
So this is like AA baseball game versus the Yankees.
Is there any danger in having that kind of contrast lined up for Tim Pawlenty? I mean, if he's only pulling in half as many, and that's an estimate of what they hope he'd pull in, does this kind of show how his popularity directly stands against Sarah Palin's? Well, Tim Pawlenty and, his team has been careful to note, in interviews and talking to the media that, they're building their base, they're building their name brand. They'll be among the first to recognize that not too many people know who the governor of Minnesota is. And so, while there is that contrast, if you ask them about it, they'll likely play it off as, well, he's making introductions. He hasn't traveled to Massachusetts much, so this is his first step. Kendra, thank you for coming on all the way from Boston. Good luck today.
Thanks.
Now, Andy, as we mentioned, Pawlenty is also in New Hampshire today. You were recently in the Granite State with a candidate who hails from the other side of the United States, Haley Barbour. He's got that great southern drawl. How did that go over up north?
Yeah, Haley actually does pretty well up there. I mean, it's funny. He's kind of courts a lot of the McCain folks. He's doing the plain spoken, common sense thing, and he's very conscious of the fact that New Hampshire and Mississippi are about as different as you can get. His go-to line whenever he's around people is it's really nice having y'all have me in Bo today, and then he turns to someone and he's like, I pronounced that right. His thing is he's using the contrast between himself and everyone else to kind of make light of it and kind of diminish it. It's actually a pretty good strategy. He was very comfortable yesterday. I was following him around through a gun store, and he's the only, I'm serious, he's the only candidate who could pick up a rifle and be talking about a box of ammunition and not seem totally phony that I've seen in a long time. So I think he's done pretty well so far.
And if he does decide to run, and if he does win, you will have a possible job on SNL. That was a nice little impersonation.
Everyone needs their next gig, right?
Now, Rick Santorum is also in New Hampshire today. Let's turn to Juana Summers, who just had the chance to chat with the senator. Juana, what did he tell you?
I just spoke with former Senator Santorum moments ago, and he says he's encouraged by the reception he's seen on the ground in New Hampshire, and he says America needs a president who's able to lead on all the issues, both domestic policy and on those crucial social issues, and that's what he plans to tell supporters today. He also said that his family, including his sick daughter, is still a concern as he moves towards making a decision as to whether to fully jump into the race. He just announced recently that he's now in the testing the waters phase in the presidential campaign.
Hey, Juana, it's Andy. What is Santorum's real appeal on a day like today? I mean, his only real credential is that of a social conservative. What can he bring to the table in terms of talking seriously about tax policy?
He has not really started talking about tax policy yet, but people here are literally swarming him. It's hard to get the guy away for just a minute. People here like what he has to say. He has name recognition. Before the rally, he was out here on the grounds, on the State House steps, people just walking up to him and telling him they're interested in him. And he's already has a strong showing in a straw poll later today.
Juana, we can hear the commotion. We can hear the cheering. What's it like on the ground? Is it a big turnout?
It's a big turnout. There are hundreds of people here who are participating in a straw poll. Lots of attention going on here. It's a pretty nice day, and people seem to be excited to be here. There's a lot of buzz going on.
Hey, Juana, thank you for coming on. I know it's a crazy day.
Perfect. Thank you, guys.
Now, we are only able to cover a few of the candidates in this episode, but folks, these candidates will be all over the map today and this weekend. If you want more, make sure to head to Politico's 2012 live page, which has constant coverage, a candidate tracker, and a very thorough calendar of this weekend's events, up to date, hour by hour. Check it out. Hey, Andy, thank you for coming on.
Thanks for having me.